The samurai, legendary warriors, masters of the sword. They are often romanticized in popular culture, depicted as noble and honorable fighters who lived by a strict code of ethics. But who were they really? What was their true role in the history of Japan? Their story starts a long time ago in the heart of ancient Japan. A land of breathtaking beauty, with its serene landscapes and traditional villages, but also a land of great turmoil and conflict. Between the years 794 and 1185, during the Heian period, Japan was a land split apart. The central government in Kyoto struggled to maintain control over the distant provinces, leading to a power vacuum that local lords known as daimyo were eager to fill. Powerful lords fought for control. These daimyo were constantly at war with each other, vying for dominance and territory. The battles were fierce and unrelenting, with each lord seeking to expand their influence and secure their power. Farmers and villagers needed someone to protect them. The common people, who toiled in the fields and lived in small, vulnerable communities, were often caught in the crossfire of these feudal conflicts. They needed defenders, warriors who could stand up to the marauding bands of soldiers and bandits. Out of this chaos, a new kind of warrior appeared, the samurai. These warriors were not just fighters, they were protectors, bound by a sense of duty and honor to defend their people and their land. The word samurai means those who serve. This name reflects their role in society, as they were expected to serve their lords with unwavering loyalty and dedication. At first, they worked for rich landowners. These landowners, or daimyo, needed skilled warriors to protect their estates and enforce their rule over their territories. Their job was simple: protect their bosses from bandits, rivals, and uprisings. They were the enforcers of their lord's will, ensuring that order was maintained and that their master's interests were safeguarded. These early samurai were skilled horseback riders and archers. Their ability to fight from horseback gave them a significant advantage in battle, allowing them to strike quickly and retreat before their enemies could respond. They were also incredibly loyal to their lords. This loyalty was not just a matter of duty, it was a deeply ingrained part of their identity, a core value that defined their existence. Life as an early samurai was hard and dangerous. They lived in a world where violence was a constant threat, and where their skills and bravery were tested on a regular basis. Battles happened often and were very violent. The samurai had to be prepared to face death at any moment, and they trained rigorously to ensure that they were always ready for combat. But these warriors accepted their duty with incredible bravery. They faced their challenges head-on, driven by a sense of honor and a commitment to their code. They believed in honor and putting others before themselves. This selflessness was a key aspect of their character, and it earned them the respect and admiration of those they protected. These values would become the basis of the samurai code, Bushido, the way of the warrior. Bushido emphasized virtues such as loyalty, courage, and integrity, and it guided the samurai in all aspects of their lives. The early samurai were more than just hired swordsmen. They were educators, leaders, and role models in their communities, teaching the next generation the values and skills they held dear. They could read and write. They were cultured, and they were well-versed in the arts and literature of their time. This intellectual aspect of their training set them apart from other warriors, and they knew how to behave at court. Their manners and etiquette were impeccable, allowing them to navigate the complex social hierarchies of the noble courts with ease. They were expected to be as good at writing poetry as they were at using a katana. This balance of martial and artistic skills was a hallmark of the samurai, reflecting their belief in the importance of a well-rounded character. This mix of warrior spirit and refined manners would become a key part of what it meant to be a samurai for hundreds of years. Their legacy continues to inspire and fascinate people around the world, a testament to their enduring impact on history and culture. As time went on during the Heian period, the samurai's place in Japanese society changed. They were no longer just protectors. They became important and powerful people. Their military skills made them essential to the ruling class. Powerful families like the Taira and Minamoto became very important. Their power came from the strength of their samurai armies. The Heian period was full of political secrets and changing alliances. Samurai loyalty was often put to the test. They were caught in the middle of power struggles, but they stayed completely loyal to their lords. This loyalty, though, would be challenged during one of Japan's most important conflicts, the Genpei War. The samurai's growing influence had a downside. As they gained power, they also became more ambitious. They started to question the authority of the emperor and the court. This power struggle would eventually lead to the shogunate, a military government led by a supreme commander, the shogun. The Heian period, though it seemed peaceful on the surface, was the beginning of a huge change in Japanese society. The samurai, once protectors of the peace, were about to become the most powerful group in Japan. Their strong loyalty, honed skills, and growing ambition set the stage for a new time in Japanese history. Bushido. The very word conjures images of ancient Japan, a land where honor and duty were the cornerstones of life, the way of the warrior. This path was not just a set of guidelines but a profound philosophy that shaped the lives of the samurai. This unwritten code of conduct would shape the samurai spirit for centuries. It was a way of life that transcended the battlefield and permeated every aspect of their existence. It wasn't just rules for fighting. Bushido encompassed a broader spectrum of values and principles. Bushido was a way of thinking about life and death. It taught the samurai to face mortality with a calm and resolute mind. It focused on honor, loyalty, courage, and putting others first. These were not just abstract concepts, but lived realities. These values were the most important things. They were the bedrock upon which the samurai built their lives. A samurai was expected to be brave, even when facing death. This bravery was not just physical, but also moral. Giving up was not an option. The samurai were taught to persevere, no matter the odds. Death was better than dishonor. This belief was so strong that it led to the practice of seppuku. This incredible courage was shown in the idea of seppuku, ritual suicide. It was a way to maintain honor even in the face of failure. It was a way for a samurai to die with honor instead of living with shame. This act was both a personal and a public statement of integrity. Bushido also stressed being loyal to one's lord. This loyalty was absolute and unwavering. This bond was sacred and could not be broken. The relationship between a samurai and his lord was one of mutual respect and duty. A samurai had to obey his master without question. This obedience was a reflection of their deep-seated respect and commitment. This loyalty wasn't just for the battlefield, it was for every part of life. Whether in times of peace or war, the samurai's duty to their lord was paramount. The ideas of Bushido were passed down through families. Fathers taught sons. This generational transmission ensured the continuity of the samurai spirit. Experienced warriors trained young recruits. This mentorship was crucial in maintaining the high standards of the samurai. This code of conduct became a deep part of who the samurai were. It was ingrained in their very being. It was more than just how they lived. It was a defining characteristic of their identity. It was who they were. The essence of Bushido was reflected in every action and decision they made. Bushido gave the samurai a strong sense of duty and discipline. This discipline was evident in their rigorous training and unwavering focus. It gave them a moral guide in a world often filled with violence and chaos. In the midst of turmoil, Bushido provided a beacon of stability and righteousness. The way of the warrior was a path of honor, self-sacrifice, and unwavering loyalty. It was a journey that required immense strength of character and an unyielding commitment to the principles of Bushido. The Genpei War, from 1180 to 1185, was a monumental conflict that forever altered the course of Japanese history. This war was not just a series of battles, but a profound struggle that reshaped the political and cultural landscape of Japan. A conflict that changed Japanese history forever. The Genpei War was a pivotal moment that marked the end of the Heian period and the beginning of the Kamakura period. It was a time when the samurai class rose to prominence, and the old aristocratic order was challenged and eventually overthrown. It was a clash of powerful forces, a struggle between two mighty clans, the Minamoto and the Taira. These clans were not just fighting for control of the land, but for the very soul of Japan. The battles were fierce, and the warriors were driven by a deep sense of honor and duty. The Minamoto clan, led by the clever and strategic Yoritomo, faced off against the mighty Taira clan. Yoritomo's leadership was instrumental in the Minamoto's success. He was a master tactician, always thinking several steps ahead of his enemies. Samurai armies fought in huge battles that became legendary. These battles were not just about brute strength, but also about strategy, skill, and the indomitable spirit of the samurai. The stories of these battles have been passed down through generations, becoming an integral part of Japanese culture and history. The war started because of a power struggle. The Taira clan had gained significant influence over the imperial court, and the Minamoto clan sought to challenge this dominance. This struggle for power was not just about political control, but also about the future direction of the country. Both clans wanted to control the imperial court, which was the center of power in Japan. Control of the court meant control of the country, and both the Minamoto and the Taira were determined to be the dominant force. The prize, being the most powerful group in Japan, this was not just about prestige, but about real power. Power to shape the future of the nation, to influence its culture, and to control its resources. What started as a small conflict soon spread across the entire nation. The war engulfed the country, drawing in warriors from all over Japan. It was a time of great turmoil and uncertainty, as the old order was challenged and a new one began to emerge. For 5 long years, the land was covered in the blood of warriors. The battles were brutal, and the cost in human lives was immense. The war left a deep scar on the nation, one that would take many years to heal. One battle in particular is very important, the Battle of Dano-Ora in 1185. This battle was a turning point in the war, a decisive moment that would determine the future of Japan. The Minamoto, outnumbered but not outfought, tricked the Taira fleet into a deadly trap. This was a masterstroke of strategy, a brilliant maneuver that showcased the tactical genius of the Minamoto leaders. The sea battle that followed was one of the most important in Japanese history. The Minamoto won, securing their dominance and paving the way for a new era in Japanese history. The Taira clan was almost completely destroyed. This was not just a military defeat, but a complete dismantling of their power and influence. The once mighty Taira were reduced to a shadow of their former selves. The Genpei War was a turning point in Japanese history. It marked the end of one era and the beginning of another, a time of great change and transformation. It saw the Minamoto clan become very powerful and the imperial court lose power. The balance of power shifted dramatically, and the Minamoto emerged as the new rulers of Japan. It also cemented the samurai's position as the strongest military force in Japan. The samurai were no longer just warriors. They were the new ruling class, with a code of honor and a way of life that would define Japanese culture for centuries to come. The war led to the creation of the first shogunate and started a new era of samurai rule. This was a time when the samurai became the dominant force in Japanese politics and society, shaping the future of the nation. The Genpei War was more than just a fight between clans. It was a profound struggle that touched every aspect of Japanese life, from politics to culture to the very identity of the nation. It was a clash of cultures, a battle between the old and the new, between tradition and change. The war brought about a cultural transformation that would have a lasting impact on Japan. It was a fight for the very heart of Japan. The outcome of the war would determine the future direction of the country, shaping its destiny for centuries to come. The war's impact would continue to be felt for centuries, shaping the future of the nation and its people. The legacy of the Genpei War is still evident today, in the culture, the traditions, and the very soul of Japan.